The power of identity shifting is an incredible mental strategy that has the potential to completely transform your life by aligning your actions, thoughts, and decisions with the person you aspire to become. It is based on the principle that who we believe ourselves to be fundamentally shapes our behaviors, habits, and ultimately our results. Identity shifting goes beyond mere goal setting or habit formation. It delves into the essence of how we perceive ourselves and how that perception dictates our actions. At its core, identity shifting involves acting as if you are already the version of yourself that you dream of being. This mental trick bypasses current limitations by reprogramming your mind to align with your future self, thereby compelling you to operate at a higher level. When you shift your identity, you begin to see yourself not as someone struggling to achieve a goal, but as someone who has already achieved it. This subtle yet profound shift has a cascading effect on every aspect of your life, from the decisions you make to the way you carry yourself in the world. Imagine waking up every day with the mindset of the person you wish to become. If you aspire to be a successful entrepreneur, you would start making decisions as if you already are one, investing time in productive activities, networking with like-minded individuals, and embracing challenges as opportunities to grow. Similarly, if your goal is to become healthier and fitter, you would think, act, and live as though you are already someone who prioritizes fitness and nutrition. This mental trick not only forces you to align your actions with your aspirations, but also rewires your brain to accept this new identity as your reality. The human brain is remarkably adaptable, and it operates on the principle of cognitive consistency, meaning that it seeks to align your actions with your beliefs. By adopting the identity of your future self, you essentially trick your brain into believing that you are already that person, which then influences your behavior in profound ways. This concept is deeply rooted in neuroscience and psychology. Studies have shown that our self-concept, the way we perceive ourselves, has a powerful influence on our actions. For example, if you see yourself as someone who is bad at math, you are less likely to engage in activities that require mathematical thinking, and even when you do, you may approach them with hesitation and self-doubt. Conversely, if you identify as someone who is skilled and confident in mathematics, you are more likely to tackle mathematical challenges with enthusiasm and persistence. The same principle applies to every area of life. Identity shifting leverages this psychological by allowing you to redefine your self-concept in alignment with your goals. The process begins with visualization. Take some time to clearly envision the person you want to become. What does this version of you look like? How do they think, act, and interact with the world? What habits do they have? What kind of decisions do they make? The more specific you are in defining this identity, the more effective the shift will be. For instance, instead of vaguely aspiring to be successful, define what success looks like for you. Is it financial independence? Is it leading a team or building a business that makes a positive impact? Once you have a clear picture, the next step is to bridge the gap between your current self and your future self. This involves identifying the behaviors, habits, and thought patterns that align with your new identity and incorporating them into your daily life. It might feel unnatural at first, but with consistency, these actions will begin to feel more authentic as they reinforce your new self-concept. Consider an actor preparing for a role. To fully embody their character, they don't just memorize lines, they adopt the mannerisms and mindset of the person they are portraying. Similarly, when you shift your identity, you are not pretending to be someone else, you are stepping into a more empowered version of yourself. This is not about faking it until you make it. It is about believing it until you become it. One of the most significant challenges in identity shifting is overcoming resistance from your current identity. The human brain is wired for familiarity. From it, any your implicit patterns can trigger discomfort and self-doubt. You might hear an inner voice questioning your new actions, saying, "Who do you think you are to act this way, or think like you?" Recognize that this resistance is a natural part of the process. It's your brain's way of clinging to its comfort zone. The key is to persist despite this resistance, knowing that every small action in alignment with your future self is a step towards solidifying your new identity. As you practice identity shifting, you'll notice a ripple effect in various areas of your life. Your relationships may improve as you adopt a more authentic way of interacting with others. Your productivity may skyrocket as you begin to work tasks with the mindset of someone who values focus and efficiency. Even your physical presence may change as you carry yourself with the assurance of someone who is aligned with their goals and values. Over time, the gap between your current self and your future self will narrow until they become one and the same. Another crucial aspect of identity shifting is the role of language. The words you use to describe yourself and your circumstances have a profound impact on your self-concept. For example, instead of saying, "I'm trying to get fit," say, "I am someone who prioritizes health and fitness." This subtle change in phrasing reinforces your new identity and shifts your mindset from effort to embodiment. Similarly, pay attention to the narratives you tell yourself about your abilities and limitations. Are they aligned with the person you want to become? If not, challenge and rewrite them. Surrounding yourself with supportive influences is another powerful way to reinforce your identity shift. Spend time with people who embody the qualities you aspire to cultivate, as their energy and mindset will inspire and motivate you. Seek out mentors, role models, or communities that align with your goals. Their belief in you can serve as a powerful catalyst for your transformation. Conversely, be mindful of influences that reinforce your old identity or undermine your progress. This might mean setting boundaries with people or environments that no longer align with your vision. It's also essential to celebrate small wins along the way. Each time you take an action that aligns with your future self, acknowledge and celebrate it. This positive reinforcement strengthens your commitment to the process and builds momentum. For instance, if you're shifting into the identity of a disciplined writer, celebrate every writing session, no matter how short. These small victories accumulate over time, creating a sense of progress and accomplishment that fuels your motivation. Perhaps the most transformative aspect of identity shifting is the way it changes your relationship with challenges. When you operate from your future self's mindset, you begin to see obstacles not as barriers, but as opportunities to grow. You approach difficulties with a sense of curiosity and resilience, knowing that they are part of the journey toward becoming the person you aspire to be. This shift in perspective can be life-changing as it empowers you to navigate setbacks with grace and determination. In conclusion, the power of identity shifting lies in its ability to rewire your mind and compel you to take actions that align with your highest aspirations. It is a practice of stepping into the version of yourself that you know you are capable of becoming, and allowing that identity to guide your thoughts, decisions, and behaviors. By embracing this mental trick, you unlock the potential to transcend your current limitations and create a life that reflects your true potential. Remember, your future self is not a distant dream, it is a choice you make every day. So take that first step, act as if, and watch as you transform your life from the inside out. The reason why identity shifting works so effectively is rooted in the deep psychological and neurological mechanisms that govern human behavior. And understanding these principles allows us to leverage them for extraordinary personal transformation. At the core of this process is the principle that human beings act in alignment with their self-concept, which is essentially the internal narrative we hold about who we are. This self-concept is not just a passive set of beliefs, it's a dynamic blueprint that dictates how we perceive the world, how we interpret events, and most importantly, how we behave. When you engage in identity shifting, you are essentially rewriting this blueprint to align with a more empowered, goal-oriented version of yourself. And as a result, your behaviors, choices, and habits naturally begin to shift in ways that support your desired outcomes. One of the most fascinating aspects of this phenomenon is how deeply the brain craves consistency between your internal self-concept and your external actions. This is rooted in a psychological principle known as cognitive dissonance. which occurs when there is a mismatch between what we believe about ourselves and how we act. Cognitive dissonance creates a sense of mental discomfort that the brain is highly motivated to resolve, and it does this by either changing your beliefs or your behaviors to restore harmony. By adopting the mindset and habits of your future self, you leverage this mechanism to your advantage. As you begin to act in alignment with your desired identity, your brain works to close the gap between your old self-concept and your new actions, reinforcing the belief that you are indeed the person you aspire to be. This creates a positive feedback loop where each aligned action strengthens your new identity, which in turn makes it easier to continue behaving in ways that align with your goals. Additionally, identity shifting taps into the brain's remarkable neuroplasticity, which is its ability to rewire itself based on new experiences and behaviors. Every thought, decision, and action creates neural pathways in the brain, and the more these pathways are used, the stronger they become. This is why habits, whether positive or negative, can feel automatic over time. They are the result of well-worn neural pathways. When you engage in identity shifting, you are intentionally creating and reinforcing new neural pathways that correspond to your desired identity. For example, if you consistently act as though you are a disciplined person who values health and fitness, the neural pathways associated with discipline and healthy choices become stronger, while the pathways associated with procrastination or unhealthy habits weaken from disuse. Over time, this rewiring makes it easier and more natural to embody your new identity, as the brain essentially learns to default to these behaviors. Another reason why identity shifting is so powerful is that it leverages the brain's reticular activating system, RAST, which is the network of neurons responsible for filtering and prioritizing information based on what we deem important. The RAS acts as a gatekeeper, determining which stimuli we pay attention to and which we ignore. When you shift your identity, you are essentially programming your RAS to focus on opportunities, resources, and experiences that align with your new self-concept. For instance, if you adopt the identity of a successful entrepreneur, your RAS will become attuned to ideas, strategies that support entrepreneurial success. This heightened awareness creates a sense of synchronicity, where it feels as though opportunities are appearing, but in reality your brain is simply filtering the world through the lens of your new identity. This shift in focus can lead to transformative changes, as you begin to notice and act on opportunities that were always present but previously overlooked. The power of identity shifting also lies in its ability to influence your emotional state, which plays a critical role in driving behavior. Emotions are not just fleeting feelings, they are powerful signals that influence how we think and act. When you embody the identity of your future self, you begin to experience the emotions associated with that identity: confidence, determination, excitement, and a sense of purpose. These emotions act as fuel, energizing you to take bold actions and persist of challenges. For example, if you adopt the identity of someone who is fearless and resilient, you are more likely to approach obstacles with curiosity and creativity rather than avoidance or defeat. This emotional alignment not only makes it easier to action, but also enhances the quality of your actions as you approach tasks with a sense of commitment. Furthermore, identity shifting works because it taps into the power of self-fulfilling prophecies, which are psychological phenomena where our expectations about ourselves and the world influence our behavior in ways that make those expectations come true. When you adopt a new identity, you set an expectation for yourself that guides your actions and decisions. For instance, if you see yourself as a leader, you are more likely to speak up in meetings, take initiative, and inspire others. Behaviors that reinforce your identity as a leader and make others perceive you as one as well. This creates a virtuous cycle where your identity becomes increasingly solidified through both internal validation and external feedback. Another compelling aspect of identity alters your relationship with failure and setbacks. When you operate from your current identity, failures are often internalized as your limitations, leading to feelings of shame or self-doubt. however, when you adopt the mindset of your future self, far reframed as Vero learning experiences and stepping stones toward growth. This shift in perspective makes it easier to persevere through challenges, as you no longer view setbacks as evidence of who you are, but as opportunities to refine your skills and strategies. This resilience is a hallmark of high achievers who understand that success is not about avoiding failure, but about using it as a catalyst for improvement. The role of language in identity shifting is another critical factor in why this mental trick works so effectively. The words you use to describe yourself and your actions have a profound impact on your self-concept and behavior. When you change the language you use, you change the narrative you tell yourself. For example, instead of saying, "I'm trying to be more disciplined," say, "I am a disciplined person." This subtle signals to your brain that discipline is not something you are striving for, but something you already embody. Over time, this new narrative becomes in your actions in ways that align with your desired identity. Identity shifting also capitalizes on the ability to simulate future scenarios, a cognitive process known as mental rehearsal. When you visualize yourself as your future self, you activate the same neural pathways that would be used if you were actually performing those behaviors. This mental rehearsal primes your brain and body for action, making it easier to execute the behaviors associated with your new identity. For instance, if you visualize yourself confidently giving a presentation, your brain practices this scenario, reducing anxiety and increasing your likelihood of success when the moment arrives. This is why elite athletes and performers visual techniques to enhance their performance. It's a way of training the brain to align with the desired outcome. Finally, identity shifting works because it creates a sense of accountability to yourself. When you adopt a new identity, you set a standard for yourself that you uphold. This internal accountability drives you to act in ways that align with your self-concept, even when it's challenging or inconvenient. Using the act as if trick is a transformative mental strategy that allows you to align your thoughts, actions, and decisions with the person you aspire to become, effectively bridging the gap between your current self and your future self. This technique involves consciously adopting the behaviors, habits, and mindset of the individual you wish to be, creating a powerful psychological shift that compels you to operate at a higher level. At its core, the act as if trick leverages the brain's inherent need for consistency between your actions and your self-concept, as well as its capacity for neuroplasticity to rewire itself through repeated behaviors and thoughts. To implement this strategy effectively, you begin by defining your future self with right and specificity. This step requires deep reflection on who you want to become, what values you want to embody, and what goals you aim to achieve. The more detailed your vision, the more actionable it becomes. For example, instead of vaguely aspiring to be successful, articulate what success looks like for you. Is it achieving financial independence, building a thriving business, or becoming a respected leader in your field? Once you have a clear image of your future self, you move on to identifying the specific behaviors, habits, and decisions that align with that identity. This might include waking up earlier, dressing more professionally, improving your communication skills, or adopting a more disciplined approach. The key is to pinpoint actions that are within your control and begin implementing them immediately, even if they feel unfamiliar or uncomfortable at first. Acting as if is not about faking or pretending. It is about stepping into the role of your future self and embodying the qualities that will bring your aspirations to life. One of the most effective ways to apply this trick is through visualization. Take time each day to vividly imagine yourself as the person you want to become. Close your eyes and picture yourself navigating challenges, making impactful decisions, and enjoying the success that comes with living in alignment with your goals. Engage all your senses in this exercise. Imagine how it feels, looks, and even sounds to embody your future self. Visualization not only strengthens your belief this identity, but also primes your brain to act in ways that align with it. Another critical aspect of the act as if trick is the concept of micro shifts, or making small, consistent changes that reinforce your new identity. These shifts might include introducing a new habit, such as journaling your progress each morning, or replacing a limiting behavior, such as procrastination, with proactive planning. Each small action serves as a vote for your future self, gradually building momentum and confidence in your ability to evolve. For example, if you see yourself as someone who values integrity, you are more likely to make ethical choices, even in situations where it might be tempting to cut corners. This sense of accountability not only strengthens commitment to your new identity, but also builds self-trust and confidence, as you consistently prove to yourself that you are in alignment with your values and goals. In conclusion, identity shifting works because it leverages a combination of psychological principles, neurological mechanisms, and emotional alignment to drive lasting change. By redefining your self-concept, aligning your actions with your desired identity, and reinforcing this alignment through language, visualization, and behavior, you create a positive feedback loop that compels you level up in every area of your life. This process not only transforms how you interact with the world, unlocking new opportunities and possibilities hidden. Whether your goal is to build confidence, achieve success, or create a more fulfilling life, identity shifting is a proven framework for turning your aspirations into reality, one aligned action at a time. For instance, if your goal is to become a fit and healthy individual, you might start by acting as if you already are someone who prioritizes their health. This could mean choosing a nutritious meal, committing to a regular workout routine, or educating yourself about fitness and nutrition. Over time, these actions compound, solidifying your new identity as a health-conscious person. The act as if trick also requires you to pay close attention to your language, both internal and external. The words you use describe yourself, and your actions have a profound impact on your self-concept. Instead of saying, "I'm trying to be more disciplined," say, "I am a disciplined person." This subtle shift in language signals to your brain that you have already adopted this quality, reinforcing the belief that you are capable of embodying your future self. Similarly, be mindful of the narratives you tell yourself about your abilities and limitations. Challenge negative self-talk and replace it with affirmations that align with your aspirations. Surrounding yourself with supportive influences is another powerful way to reinforce the act as if trick. Seek out role models, mentors, and communities that embody the qualities you want to cultivate. Their energy, mindset, and behaviors will inspire and motivate you, making it easier to stay committed to your transformation. For example, if you aspire to become an entrepreneur, connect with successful business owners, attend networking events, or join online, share valuable insights and encouragement. Their presence not only provides guidance but normalizes the identity you are striving to adopt, making it feel more attainable. Additionally, the act as if trick involves reframing your relationship with challenges and setbacks. Instead of viewing obstacles as barriers, see them as opportunities to learn, grow, and your commitment to your future self. When you encounter resistance, whether internal or external, remind yourself that discomfort is a natural part of growth and a sign that you are stepping outside your comfort zone. Embrace these moments as evidence that you are actively transforming into the person you aspire to be. For instance, if you're acting as if you are a confident publisher and you experience nervousness before a presentation, view it as an opportunity to practice resilience and refine your skills rather than a failure. The act as if trick also emphasizes the intense consistency and repetition. Change doesn't happen overnight, and adopting a new identity requires sustained every day. Make a commitment to act as if every day, even when motivation wanes or progress feels slow. Each small action, repeated consistently, reinforces your new identity and creates lasting change. For example, if your future self is someone who writes a book, commit to writing a small amount each day, even it's just a paragraph. These daily actions build momentum, and over time, they culminate in significant progress. A crucial element of this strategy is celebrating small wins along the way. Acknowledge and reward yourself for each action that aligns with your future self. These celebrations create positive reinforcement, your motivation, and strengthening your belief in your ability to transform. For instance, if you've successfully completed a week of acting as if you are a disciplined and focused individual, treat yourself to something that brings you joy or take a moment to reflect on how far you've come. These celebrations remind you that progress is happening, even if it's not always immediately visible. Finally, the act as if trick encourages you to adopt growth-oriented mindset. Instead of focusing solely on outcomes, prioritize the process of becoming your future self. Recognize that growth is a journey filled with highs and lows, and each step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. By embracing this mindset, you free yourself from the pressure of perfection and allow room for experimentation, learning, and adaptation. In summary, the act as if trick is a powerful tool for transformation that involves defining your future self, adopting their behaviors and mindset, and reinforcing this identity through consistent actions, visualization, language, and supportive influences. By stepping into the role of your future self, as if you have already achieved your aspirations, you create a positive feedback loop that compels you to align your thoughts, decisions, and habits with your goals, ultimately propelling you toward a life of purpose and fulfillment. The mental resistance trap is a psychological that often arises whenever we attempt to step outside our comfort zone, make significant changes, or pursue ambitious goals, and understanding mechanisms is crucial for overcoming it and achieving lasting transformation. This resistance stems from the brain's innate preference for familiarity and predictability, a survival mechanism that evolved to keep us safe by avoiding risks and uncertainties. When faced with the prospect of change, especially change that challenges deeply ingrained habits or self-concepts, the brain perceives it as a potential that activates a cascade of mental and emotional responses designed to steer us back to the safety of our current state. This can manifest as self-doubt, procrastination, fear of failure, or even physical discomfort, all of which conspire to keep us stuck in old patterns. One of the most insidious aspects of the mental resistance trap is that it often operates beneath the surface of our conscious awareness, masquerading as rational justifications for inaction. For example, you might tell yourself that now isn't the right time to start a new project, that you need more preparation before taking the step, or that you'll tackle your goal once you feel more confident or motivated. These thoughts feel logical and even prudent, but they are often rooted in resistance rather than genuine constraints. Recognizing this self-subtle sabotage is the first step to breaking free from its grip. The mental resistance trap is particularly powerful when it comes to identity shifts, as these require us to challenge not just our behaviors, but also our deeply held beliefs about who we are. If you have spent years identifying as someone with discipline, for instance, the idea of becoming a highly disciplined can feel foreign and even threatening. Your brain may resist this shift by generating thoughts like, "This isn't who I am," or "What if I fail and prove that I'm not cut out for this?" These internal narratives are a natural response to the discomfort of change, but they are not reflective of your true potential. Overcoming the mental resistance trap requires a deliberate and strategic approach. One effective strategy is to reframe resistance as a positive sign that you are on the brink of growth. Instead of viewing discomfort and self-doubt indicators of failure, see them as evidence that you are pushing beyond your limits and challenging the status quo. This mindset shift can help you approach resistance with curiosity and determination rather than fear or avoidance. For example, if you find yourself procrastinating on a task that aligns with your goals, ask yourself, "What am I afraid of?" Or "What is this resistance trying to tell me?" Often, the answers to these questions will reveal underlying fears or limiting beliefs that you can address directly. Another powerful way to combat the mental resistance trap is to break down your goals into smaller, manageable steps. Resistance is often triggered by the perception that a task is too big, too difficult, or too overwhelming. By focusing on just the next small action you can take, you reduce the psychological barrier to getting started and build momentum toward your larger goal. For instance, if your goal is to write a book, start by committing to writing just one sentence or brainstorming ideas for 10 minutes. These small wins create a sense of progress and gradually weaken the grip of resistance. Consistency is another key factor in overcoming the mental resistance trap. The more frequently you take actions that align with your desired identity or goals, the more familiar and comfortable these actions become. Over time, what once felt difficult or unnatural begins to feel automatic as your brain adapts to the new patterns you are creating. This is why habits are such a powerful tool for breaking free from resistance. By embedding your desired behaviors into your daily routine, you reduce the mental effort required to sustain them and create a foundation for lasting change. Additionally, surrounding yourself with supportive influences can navigate the mental resistance trap more effectively. Seek out mentors, peers, or communities that align with your goals and values, as their encouragement and accountability can provide a powerful counterbalance to internal resistance. When you see others successfully overcoming similarlities, it reinforces the belief that you can do the same. Moreover, sharing your struggles with trusted individuals can help you gain perspective and develop strategies for moving forward. The mental resistance trap is not something to be eliminated entirely, as it is a natural part of the human experience. However, by developing self-awareness and cultivating resilience, you can learn to navigate it more effectively and prevent it from derailing your progress. One way to build resilience is to focus on your why, the deeper purpose or motivation behind your goals. When resistance arises, reconnecting with your why can reignite your determination and remind you what's at stake. For example, if you're pursuing a fitness goal, think about how achieving it will enhance your health, energy, and quality of life. This sense of purpose can provide the emotional fuel needed to push through moments of doubt or discomfort. It's also important to practice self-compasing the mental resistance trap. Change is hard, and setbacks are a normal part of the process. Instead of berating yourself for procrastinating, acknowledge your efforts and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. Treat yourself with the same kindness and encouragement you would offer a friend who is facing a similar challenge. This not only helps to counteract the negative self that often accompanies resistance, but also creates a more supportive internal environment for growth. Visualization is another effective tool for the mental resistance trap. By vividly imagining yourself successful, navigating challenges and achieving your goals, you can prime your brain for success and reduce the emotional intensity of resistance. For instance, if you're nervous about giving a presentation, spend a few minutes each day visualizing confidently, engaging your audience, and handling questions with ease. This mental rehearsal helps to build confidence and belief that you are capable of succeeding. Finally, it's essential to recognize that resistance diminishes with action. The anticipation of a challenging task is usually far more daunting than the task itself. Once you take the first step, whether it's starting a difficult conversation, making a bold decision, or simply showing up, the momentum you generate can carry you forward and weaken the hold of resistance. Remember that progress, not perfection, is the goal. Each step you take, no matter how small, is a victory in your journey to overcome the mental resistance trap and achieve the growth and transformation you desire.